EP1. The anime opens with a young man named Alto Goldfield, who attends Ortager Royal Academy of Magic. Despite excelling in all subjects, Alto fails his summoning exam, which means he must form a contract with a familiar to progress to the next year. Desperate to avoid repeating the school year, he confides in his lover, Lilia, and an old friend about his situation. Lilia offers her support and assistance. In an attempt to summon a unique familiar, Alto visits the vast library. As fate would have it, a book falls on his head, revealing a magic circle inside. Alto uses his blood to activate the circle and recites the incantation, summoning a stunning girl with goat ears, a tail, and a human body before him. This girl introduces herself as Vermeil, a long-trapped demon from within the book. Alto asks her to become his familiar, and they form a contract, with Vermeil gaining mana from Alto through kisses. Vermeil agrees to accompany Alto to his academy and continues to sit on his lap during classes, causing jealousy in Lilia. In response to Lilia's frustration, she challenges Alto to a duel, where the condition is that the loser must comply with the winner's requests. Lilia summons a high-class wind spirit named Sylphide to fight for her, but Vermeil easily defends herself and plays a trick on Lilia, leading to her defeat. Alto then commands both Lilia and Vermeil to be friends and never fight again, which they agree to. Later, Vermeil reveals to Alto that no human can fully control demons, even with a contract. She admits using his mana to strengthen herself. AP2. As they make their way to class, a powerful dragon familiar suddenly breaks free and heads towards Alto. To everyone's amazement, Vermeil effortlessly flicks it away with a single finger, leaving them in awe. Shortly after, a ceremony takes place to promote all the students to the second year. During the event, some of the boys sitting with Alto become fixated on Vermeil's appearance, causing a commotion among the attendees. Using this opportunity, a teacher demonstrates the consequences of mistreating familiars and emphasizes the importance of treating them with kindness and care. On their way back home, Alto, Lilia, and Vermeil encounter a senior student named Rex, who is a dragon rider, along with a student whose familiar was previously affected by Vermeil's actions. They express their anger towards Alto, but he tries to defuse the situation by using his crystal synthesis ability to restrain them. However, Rex skillfully summons his dragon, breaking the crystals, and demands an apology from Vermeil. In response, Alto steps forward to protect Vermeil, and Rex commands his familiar to attack. Vermeil transfers her golden mana to Alto, enabling him to shield them with a powerful crystal synthesis. Eventually, Rex apologizes for his behavior. Later on, Alto shares his dream of becoming a platinum square mage to achieve mastery. Vermeil embraces him, assuring him of her support in fulfilling his dream. At the academy, Alto encounters his classmates Marx and Cheryl, both from prestigious noble families. Subsequently, the headmaster summons Cheryl, Alto, and Lilia for a meeting to select a student representative for the second year. The headmaster proposes a trial in which they must locate and retrieve a rare and elusive fairy flower within a limited time frame, as it is known to be a challenging task. Accompanied by Vermeil, Lilia, Cheryl, and Marx, Alto ventures into the jungle. However, Marx gets entangled by plant monsters, leading Cheryl to focus on rescuing him. Meanwhile, Alto and Lilia continue their exploration and eventually discover the elusive fairy flower on top of a mountain. Unfortunately, the flower is guarded by a three-faced dog monster. In a clever move, Lilia consumes a potent potion of invisibility to bypass the vigilant dogs undetected. Sensing the impending danger, Alto turns to Vermeil and asks for additional power. Vermeil explains that she amplified his abilities using the mana he provided and then playfully kisses him. On the other side, the dogs catch a whiff of Lilia's scent and attempt to attack her. Quickly, Alto intervenes, delivering a powerful blow to defend her. He instructs Lilia to seize the flower from behind while he fends off the dogs. However, the dogs persistently attack Alto, prompting him to call for Vermeil's assistance. With a potent spell, Vermeil successfully puts the dogs to sleep, allowing Lilia to retrieve the flower triumphantly. She presents it to Alto, acknowledging his worthiness. During their conversation, an unforeseen mishap occurs. Lilia's potion wears off, leaving her naked in front of everyone. Feeling embarrassed, she accidentally releases her grip on the flower, causing it to fly from her hand and land right in front of Cheryl. As fate would have it, Cheryl is chosen as the representative, much to the surprise of the others. AP3. The next day starts with Vermeil savoring crepes for the first time and thoroughly enjoying them. As they watch a group of dragon riders soaring through the sky, Alto explains that it's a club, with Rex being a member. They discuss the club's founder, Captain Chris, one of the 7 esteemed gold square mages at the academy who also holds a position in the student council. Lilia enlightens Vermeil about the prestigious status of the gold squares, with 5 of them serving as executives in the student council, and the council president is even on the verge of achieving platinum rank. Later, while they are on their way back from the changing room, they witness all 7 club members walking closely together, leaving everyone amazed. In the evening, Alto goes for a bath, and Vermeil follows him, resulting in a shy and intimate moment between the two. Vermeil assures Alto of her dedication to fulfilling his dreams. During the same night, Rex is confronted and defeated by Captain Chris after losing a duel against a second-year student. His friends recount the incident to Vermeil, Lilia, and Alto, treating it as a regular fight rather than a formal duel. Captain Chris humiliates Rex by demanding that he lick her soiled shoe. This degrading act leads to Rex quitting the club and ending up in the hospital. Alto, accompanied by Lilia and Vermeil, visits him, expressing concern and inquiring about the circumstances. Rex's friend reveals that Rex's departure from the Dragon Riders was due to Alto's involvement, leaving Alto feeling guilty. Driven by his guilt, Alto decides to challenge Captain Chris to a duel. Vermeil and Alto arrive at the battleground and issue the challenge. Captain Chris warns Alto to respect authority and promises to defeat him as punishment. She summons her dragon familiar, Whirlwind, which takes to the sky. Meanwhile, Alto and Vermeil share a kiss to exchange mana, preparing for the fight. The duel begins with Alto launching his first attack, Crystal Synthesis, but Captain Chris easily defends against it. She counterattacks multiple times, but Vermeil and Alto manage to defend themselves. Alto tries another crystal-based attack, but it fails, drawing Captain Chris's attention to his mana levels. Undeterred, Alto launches a powerful attack with Vermeil's assistance, causing the battleground to shatter. Captain Chris, however, manages to mount her dragon and retaliates with a barrage of fire attacks. She boasts about her superiority, belittling others as mere insects compared to the abilities of dragon familiars. Vermeil continues to protect Alto from the onslaught of attacks. With determination, Vermeil tells Alto that he must gather enough mana as she plans to end the duel with a single powerful blow. They prepare a high-powered golden mana attack, and Alto launches a crystal synthesis against Captain Chris's fireball. AP4. During the intense battle, both sides' attacks fail to find their mark. However, Alto and Vermeil come up with a clever strategy involving crystals, enabling them to climb up towards the dragon. Alto manages to defeat Captain Chris by holding a crystal to her neck. The victory fills the entire academy with joy, and Alto gains admiration from all the girls. Professor Obsidian commends Alto for his exceptional skills. Later, Captain Chris follows the rules and cleans up the battleground, with Rex helping her in the process. That night, Vermeil wakes Alto with a kiss and asks if he has any issues with her displays of affection. She openly expresses her love for him. Alto later approaches Professor Obsidian and inquires about a demon falling in love with a human. The professor explains that demons may love humans for their mana. During dinner, Alto becomes lost in thought, and Vermeil notices his perplexity. He questions whether Vermeil's feelings for him are solely because of his mana. Vermeil clarifies that while she needs mana to survive, her love for Alto goes beyond that. She kisses him, demonstrating her genuine affection. The next morning, Professor Obsidian calls upon a girl from the academy to assist him. They express their love for each other in the library. Later, the girl, Emma Abeline, a fourth-year Silver Square specializing in ice magic, is found frozen in her room. This incident marks the 4th occurrence this year. Ryuga, the vice president of the student council, and chairperson Jessica discuss the situation and decide to find the person responsible, as the student council president is deeply troubled by these events. Meanwhile, as part of their homework, Alto's teacher assigns them to create a report about their familiars, detailing their main features, height, weight, and daily activities. Unbeknownst to Alto, Lilia spies on him. Lilia drinks an invisibility potion and sneaks into the boys' dormitory, eventually reaching Alto's room. Meanwhile, Alto and Vermeil go shopping together. EP5. While shopping, Alto gathers ingredients for their dinner, and Vermeil playfully requests desserts, kissing him in public. Suddenly, a frantic friend of Rex approaches them, seeking help. Rex has grown even more powerful, relentlessly attacking Captain Chris. She tries to defend herself with a fireball, but he easily blocks it and continues his assault, inflicting severe injuries on her. Alto, Vermeil, and Rex's friend arrive on the scene. Alto becomes angry with Rex for his actions and shows concern for Chris. In return, Rex becomes furious and attempts a powerful strike, but fails. The student council president arrives just in time to save Chris, slashing through the dragon with her judgment sword and injuring Rex. Rex loses consciousness and is taken to the hospital. The student council holds a meeting to discuss the escalating incidents, now totaling 5, and their determination to uncover the mastermind behind it all. Later, a notice is issued for the Bronze Square exam. Vermeil requests some rest and asks Alto to study for the exam in his room, stating that it's not her concern. Alto feels uneasy but decides to study with Lilia in her room. On her way back to the dorm, Vermeil encounters Professor Obsidian and warns him to stay away from Alto, As she senses low tier clinging and knows that humans cannot handle such immense power, she threatens him. And as she continues on her way, the professor secretly injects her with something, causing a reaction in Vermeil. Meanwhile, Lilia tries to entice Alto by displaying her charms to get him in the mood for study. Suddenly, Alto's familiar sign starts blinking, and an explosion occurs. The members of the student council are alerted, and the sky darkens. Alto rushes to find Vermeil, while the president encounters a floating church sign that surrounds her. Vermeil struggles as her true form as a demon begins to manifest. AP 6. Later, Alto arrives and is shocked to see Vermeil in her transformed state. He questions the professor about the situation and learns that the professor has chained Vermeil by her neck, claiming to be her superior master. The professor reveals that he injected a liquid that causes powers to go out of control, specifically targeting true demons. He admits to using 5 other students as part of his plan. Stunned by the professor's orchestrated scheme, Alto activates his mana. Vermeil launches an attack on the professor while protecting Alto, but in the process, Alto gets fatally wounded. Feeling guilty and alone, Vermeil becomes more ferocious. However, she suddenly embraces Alto and starts crying. In her dream, she sees Alto dead, but she uses her golden mana to heal him. Meanwhile, the professor injects himself and transforms into a monstrous creature with multiple eyes. He attacks Vermeil, but she retaliates by crushing his hand with a single punch. The professor tries to escape by flying, but Captain Chris intercepts him and, with Vermeil's help, defeats him. Alto wakes up later, and Lilia expresses her joy that he is alive. Alto contemplates his wounds and the events that transpired. The president continues her fight against the co-conspirator, who eventually disappears. Vermeil and Alto have a conversation about the accident, revealing that Alto's heart only beats with Vermeil's mana. Alto expresses gratitude for saving his life, but Vermeil discloses that the heart in Alto's chest belongs to her, the heart of a true demon. If she were to die, he would die as well. Overwhelmed with emotions, Alto sheds tears for the demon who lives for centuries and apologizes to her. Professor Obsidian is apprehended by city guards, and Rex wakes up to find Captain Chris by her side. All the coma-stricken students also awaken and start to feel better. As Alto's heart relies on Vermeil's mana to function, they share a nightly kiss. However, Vermeil starts speaking less and avoids being around too much after revealing her true form. She informs Alto that his heart will take decades to function properly on its own, but when that happens, her purpose will be fulfilled, and she will leave. In response, Alto kisses her, expressing his love without consuming mana, and assures her that he is not afraid of her and needs her by his side. EP 7. The next day, the girls in the classroom mourn the loss of Professor Obsidian, while the boys express their frustration at Alto for not being with Vermeil lately. To cheer her up, Alto decides to buy desserts on his way back home. Vermeil stands alone, having a conversation with Lilia where she apologizes for being a demon and asks if Lilia is afraid of her. Lilia understands the situation and reassures Vermeil that what truly matters is how she and Alto feel about each other. Lilia suggests that Vermeil should lean on Alto more, considering she is his familiar. Alto returns home and feels delighted that Vermeil is feeling better. Vermeil expresses her love for Alto and her fear of hurting him again. They discuss spending their lives together, and the conversation concludes with a loving kiss. The following day, they go to the academy together. The story shifts to Iolite, a platinum-revoked student, talking on the phone about Professor Obsidian's failure. Suddenly, a church sign is attacked from behind, but it is successfully defended by a horse-headed figure wielding iron rods, accompanied by Helioter, a platinum square student. Meanwhile, all the boys are thrilled to see Vermeil again. Alto's friend reminds him about the bronze exam and helps prepare Vermeil for it. While they are in the classroom, the student council president, along with others, approaches their class and takes Alto into custody. They have a conversation about Professor Obsidian, his escape from prison, and suspicions that Alto might be concealing something. The president slightly hints at the quick healing of Alto's wounds and points a sword at Alto's neck while aiming arrows at Vermeil, demanding that they reveal everything. Alto tells the president about Vermeil being a demon and having a demon heart within him. He staunchly defends Vermeil, emphasizing that she is not a malevolent demon, and declares that he will stand against anyone who tries to harm her. The president clarifies the misunderstandings and declares that all familiars are equal. In the end, the president offers Alto a position on the executive team of the student council. OP8. The president commends Alto for his duel with Captain Chris, acknowledging her as a formidable opponent. They discuss the incident where Chris got injured, and the president chooses Alto to protect the academy with his powers. After discussing the situation with Lilia, Cheryl, and others, Alto decides to join the council as everyone is pleased to see his progress in life. Vermeil and Alto have a conversation where she advises him to be cautious around the council, especially the president, as she gives off a bad vibe. Vermeil suggests that Alto becomes stronger than the entire world to protect her, which brings her happiness. Later, Vermeil and Alto attend a meeting with the council members. However, Alto mistakenly opens the door and sees the council members changing their clothes, angering Jessica. During the meeting, the president discusses the purpose, which is to examine the church sign and the mage element used against her in a previous fight. They realize that they have never encountered this type of magic before, and it contains a complex formula. The president predicts their enemy to be a Platinum Square Mage. Meanwhile, Iolite and Helioder meet with Coacumia, another Platinum Square Mage who attacked the president earlier using her paper doll's magic. They reveal their plan to prepare an octopus monster and have already killed the most skilled caster of divine magic among the Platinum Squares. Their next target is Vermeil and Alto. At night, Alto has a dream of a young Vermeil crying. Suddenly, a woman approaches him and presents a choice between serving the benefit of all mankind or benefiting Vermeil alone, leading to destruction. Alto wakes up and starts preparing for his bronze exam, feeling pressured by the council members. The day of the exam arrives, and Alto is ready with his mana. They go to a neutral location where mages from different nations gather. They are taken to one of the 10 practical sites for the exam, where Colonel Pharynx explains the practical exam, which involves measuring the quality and amount of mana through the use of flames. EP 9. During the practical exam, students attempt to ignite the flame using their mana, but many struggle, underestimating the difficulty. It is now Lilia's turn, and instead of focusing on the crystal, she channels her entire mana directly into the fire, making her the top scorer. Another student from a different school successfully ignites the fire while making a comment about Ordija Academy. Cheryl also passes her test, while Marx barely manages to move the flame. Now it's Alto and Vermeil's turn, and initially, everyone doubts Vermeil, mistaking her for a human. However, they soon learn that she is Alto's human familiar. Alto tries to decipher the crystal formula as a pseudo-matrix, and he figures out the straight line leading to the center. Colonel Pharynx recognizes his brilliance, as the test was designed to measure the ability to understand formula. Alto amazes everyone by turning the fire silver, finding the most difficult spot, and supplying more mana to break the crystal. Even the gold square and a platinum square find it challenging. Alto apologizes to Colonel Pharynx for breaking the crystal but passes the test with flying colors. Later, they discuss the practical exam and gain confidence in acing the written portion as well. Alto and Vermeil exchange a kiss for mana, and Alto prepares for his exam. On his way to the exam hall, he encounters the student from the other school. Alto leaves with hope that he will pass the exam. Meanwhile, in the washroom, the student from the other school comes across Iolite and kills him, assuming his identity. The president has a conversation with Jessica while bathing, explaining the true bond between Alto and Vermeil as a demon and human bond. Jessica asks about the heart, and the president explains that she did it for love and only love. Alto heads to the exam hall, leaving Vermeil behind since familiars are not allowed. He finds his assigned seating area and discovers Iolite sitting beside him. EP 10. During the exam, Iolite, who is seated next to Alto, falls asleep, causing Alto to feel unfocused and find the test more challenging. Suddenly, Iolite wakes up and completes the test within a minute. He starts talking to Alto in the middle of the exam but is stopped by the professor. Then, news arrives of a student found dead in the restroom, followed by a massive explosion. It is revealed that Iolite is Alto's enemy and had been helping Professor Obsidian. Colonel Pharynx appears and confronts Professor Obsidian, while Vermeil enters the room but fails in her attack. Colonel Pharynx identifies Iolite as the Heaven's Will, the youngest mage on the Platinum Square, and considers him a prodigy. Lilia attempts to join the fight to rescue Alto but is initially stopped by the guards. Later, everyone, including the guards, is immobilized due to transference magic. Iolite fires multiple shots from tank guns, severely injuring everyone. In a fit of anger, Alto activates his golden mana, freeing Vermeil. He then activates silver mana, destroying all of Iolite's weapons, including his rock machine. Alto tries to attack Iolite but is intercepted by his knights, and Vermeil appears in her true form, attempting to attack Alto but getting easily captured and locked with chains. Alto tries to prevent Iolite from taking Vermeil, but Iolite launches a powerful attack with his knight, which fails due to the book in Alto's bag, where Vermeil had been sealed for years. Suddenly, the woman from Alto's dream appears, introducing herself as the Mage of Beginnings. She explains that Vermeil had requested to be sealed away due to her traumatic memories imprisoning her. The mage urges Alto to prepare himself to accept Vermeil for who she is, and Alto expresses his unwavering feelings and determination to stand by her side, no matter what. Iolite launches another attack, but they are teleported to the world of Vermeil's memories, where Alto must save her. Failure to do so would result in them being trapped there forever. The place is set 550 years ago, before the kingdom of Ordija was even founded. EP 11-12. Alto witnesses Vermeil's joyful past with her loving makeshift family. However, when Vermeil's demon identity is revealed, she faces bullying and discrimination from the villagers. Vermeil's family supports her, but tragedy strikes, leading Vermeil to unleash her powers in anger. Alto comforts Vermeil and confesses his feelings, promising to stand by her side no matter what. They confront Iolite, a dangerous enemy who seeks Vermeil's power for destructive purposes. Together, they defeat Iolite's pet demon and receive aid from a platinum-ranked mage named Fatima. Vermeil and Alto express their love for each other, strengthening their bond. Determined to protect Vermeil, Alto undergoes training. They decide to take action against evil forces as leaders of the council. Lilia and Marx pass their exams, but Lilia worries when Vermeil and Alto go missing, only to find them sharing an intimate moment in the park. The first season concludes with anticipation for more thrilling adventures and challenges ahead. Please let me know your thoughts and feelings about the story.